Are you looking for a new canister filter but are unsure which one to get? Well, let me share my 4 years of experience with the Fluval 307 canister filter. There's a lot to like about this unit, a couple things that might make you want to steer clear of it. And after the initial review, we're going to look at all of the components after about a month of feeding. So without further ado, let's dive into this review. All right, so in this cabinet here, we have the Fluval 307. It is a canister filter which is able to turn over about 350 gallons of water per hour, which works really well for any aquarium, roughly between 50 and 90 gallons, because you roughly want to turn over that water about 4 to 6 times an hour. So this, some people would say this is maybe a little overkill for a 55 gallon like I have, but as long as the water is clean, as long as the fish are happy, I'm really happy with how this is turning out for my 55 gallon. All right, I figured this section would be a lot more easy if I had it over a sink versus underneath that cabinet. So the first part of the unit I want to show you guys is the part connecting to the tank, like I mentioned. In the video I'm showing right now, that's kind of how you disconnect it from the tank. You move up that gray lever, the red lever then goes up to fully cut off the water, and then you're able to remove the unit from wherever you're storing it. I will say, however, there is a little bit of water that gets left over when you're kind of disconnecting it there. That's definitely something to keep a note of. If you, actually, that's why I have that bucket there. If we have a bunch of water coming out, you don't want that going on your carpet or getting any real wood stained or warped like that. So definitely have towels ready if you guys do decide to pick up this unit. All right, so next up is this priming pump, this gray little pump here. This is great when you're doing water changes. So let's say you've just done your water change and now you're ready to hook it all back up again. There's going to be a lot of air in this filter, and you don't want that when you're actually running the filter because you're going to burn out the motor and you're basically going to kill it. This little priming pump here actually allows suction to start. A bunch of water from the tank is able to go into this filter, and then it kind of jump starts the filter there. Next up on this unit is the 2 locks on either side to fully seal the canister filter. They are pretty easy to manipulate with just one hand, and it is provides a lot of good clamping force so that there's a full seal around the unit so no water leaks out. And then after you take off the clamps, again you can do that with one hand, you can kind of just keep pushing down to break that seal with the water barrier. And you can set the motor and intake off to the side. We'll put this in the sink here. And then that just leaves you with the actual canister itself, along with all the filter media on the inside. The last thing I want to touch on about the outside of the unit is just the rubber feet on the bottom. They provide a lot of good sound isolation. So, when it's nighttime, you don't want to hear, obviously, your filter going. So the soft plastic of the feet really help deaden any sound or noise transfer you would get from that motor to the cabinet or floor or wherever you would have it. And it really provides for a nice and quiet filter. All right, now to get into the guts of the canister filter here. The first thing I'm going to pull out is the pre-filter. This is where all of the heavy bacteria and algae and fish poop is going to be collected. This does a great job at getting, again, all of the big parts out of the filtration before it clogs everything else up. And then on the back here, this is actually a 2-stage filter system where you have a really coarse filter with a bunch of grooves in it to try to catch as much of that big stuff as possible. And on the back of the unit, you have, these used to be white, but over time they've yellowed a little bit, but these white filters that, again, get a lot of the fish poop and a little bit of algae and plant parts as the filter kind of clogs up and I don't service it over a long period of time. Okay, now for the second part of the filter, where all of the water gets polished and chemically treated. It's really nice because there is this red little handle that kind of carries all three sections at once. But we will take a look at all that separately. The first thing I want to get into is where the fine filtering occurs. On the bottom of the unit, we have these black sponges, and this is really fine sponge material. I'll show this in a little video here, but all of these ridges are very deep, and it collects so much plant matter and the rest of the fish poop and any food that's left over. Usually if I don't clean these within 2 months or 3 months, even if I let it go, these sponges become hard as a rock just because there's so much material in here. On top of those sponges is going to be this filter floss, which Fluval sells, of course, and they really do a great job at polishing the water and get any particulate left over out of the water and kind of removes it. I have had pretty good luck. Usually about 2 or 3 times a year, I'll replace both of these filter floss materials. They do degrade pretty quickly because, again, it's just fibers, kind of matted together. But you do get some mileage with that, about, again, 3 to 4 months. All right, and the next stage of filtration for the Fluval 307 is this biological media. This is kind of like little ceramic donuts or pasta, if you will, and there's a bunch of small crevices in there. That allows beneficial bacteria to live in these ceramic things, and this bacteria helps to break down all the ammonia and I think nitrates to make them not harmful for your fish anymore, and then again kind of just help with the nitrogen cycle and removing that kind of stuff from the aquarium. All right, and the last part of the filter allows you to get a little creative with how you need to tailor your system. What comes stock right out of the box is a bag of charcoal and these phosphate removers. I think these probably don't work anymore since it's been about 4 years, but who knows? They could still might be working. What's more important is this bag of charcoal that comes with the unit. This kind of filter is able to remove any of the heavy metals or any other impurities that might be in your water coming from either your town, city, or if you have hard water that you might be doing a water change with. Overall, charcoal is one of the best final filters and polishers you could have in your unit, and it is present in the Fluval 307. All right, so there you have it. After we cleaned up the filter, got it all fresh and new again, we hooked it back up to the tank, and it is running like a dream. We closed that latch there, got it all hooked up, and now it is ready for another, I'd say 1.5, 2 months even, with no more interactions. You can just pretty much set it and forget it at this point, as long as you're not don't heavily feed your fish or have a large bio load in your aquarium. All right, and there you have it. That is my review of the Fluval 307 canister filter. I really enjoy this unit. Like I've said, I've had it for about 4 years and it's worked really well. The only problem, as I mentioned, was a little bit of water comes out as you're doing your water change. So as long as you have a bucket or a towel lying around, you're going to be a-okay. With that said, I hope I earned your subscription today. I hope you can come around to the Fish Gang Guy channel. We do a lot of skits, a lot of funny content around, fish and aquariums and stuff. So with that said, please hit that like button. Please comment if you have any questions. I'll try to, respond to that within the next weeks or months if you, if you post in time. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.